I have put together a collection of tips for the Division 2 that I feel should help series newcomers to play more effectively and returning veterans to optimize their experience. From vaulting over cover faster to optimal early perks and dodge reload canceling, these will all help to improve your performance as you fight to retake the desolate remnants of Washington, D.C. In the Division 2, you will quickly get in the habit of marking most of the gear that you don't need as junk to effectively mass salvage or sell it all off at once. However, there is one more beneficial step that should be taken before clearing out your inventory. The project's officer in your larger bases have a variety of requests to improve the settlement by donating certain items and gear that each project has listed. Before salvaging or selling off any of this junked gear, I highly recommend returning to your project's officer after amassing a decent sized haul of loot and hitting the Donate All Junk button. This will automatically socket any useless gear on you that is requested by any of these active projects. Completing these provides huge chunks of experience, new quests, blueprints, and a variety of other useful rewards. You will often find that when you're in cover and try to vault over something to either press the advantage on the enemy or just traverse to a new location, that the animation is fairly slow in performing this vault from cover. Now I have a few movement tips on this list that will help to facilitate a more offensive playstyle that I often use myself. A more effective and faster way to vault in this situation is to actually press backwards to briefly remove yourself from cover, followed immediately by forward and the vault button. This will very quickly get you over what's in front of you and allow you to immediately handle incoming threats by more hastily readying your gun. There are many useful perks that you can learn from the Quartermaster that can drastically help you during combat, like gaining access to more armor kits or grenades, but if you like to min-max your agent's progression speed, there are 3 perks that are vital to take as soon as possible. Starting off, the XP Accolades. The sooner you build this one up, the more general XP you will gain from nearly every combat encounter, which in turn will progress your agent's level even faster. This allows you to quickly accumulate more gear-filled caches, which leads us directly into our next perk, Field Proficiency Cache. This increases our chances of gaining extra gear every time we open up one of these crates, which is bolstered by our faster progression gained from our newfound XP boosts. This all now leads into our final important upgrade, which further supplements the prior 2, the Deconstruction perk. This will allow you to salvage even more of the valuable crafting materials from all of your outdated gear you deconstruct, allowing you to craft the higher end blueprints even faster. I know many of these other perks might seem more immediately helpful, but optimizing these 3 as soon as possible will greatly assist your progression in the long run by squeezing the most out of everything you do in the game. One of the very first things the game teaches you should definitely not be overlooked. The cover-to-cover automated move is more than just a movement assist for players who struggle with manually getting from cover to cover themselves. During combat, it is often more effective to use this mechanic to transition between cover whenever possible. It not only allows you to travel faster, but also keeps your agent in a lower profile than if you manually sprinted to cover yourself. Take advantage of this movement option as much as possible to better avoid oncoming gunfire and flank faster, because it's much more than a player assist. It is often the optimal way to move during a firefight. The HUD in the Division 2 is fairly customizable, which allows you to adjust the location and scale of certain elements of the UI. Depending on the size of your screen and the distance from it you play at, the default minimap may be too small to clearly make out important icons like gear drops or useful crates around you. You will find the mini-map is far more useful when you can easily see all the visual indicators around you, but be careful not to go overboard. Now here I have another tip for players who like to play a little more aggressively and up in the enemy's face. You can actually dodge out of your reload animation towards the last 30 to 40% of the reload timer depending on the gun. This allows you to remain evasive while providing you with a fully readied clip when you pop back up from using this tactic. This takes some practice to get the specific timing for your equipped gun, as each gun type has slightly different timing. If you try this too early during the reload, you will cancel it entirely and often put yourself at a disadvantage with an empty clip. This works on many, but not all of the guns in the game. It depends on the weapon type's reload mechanism. Instead of taking the brunt of oncoming fire from just standing and reloading or needing to find cover, use this reload dodge technique to maximize your offensive capabilities and play as risky as I often do. Your activatable special skills can and will change how you tackle many combat situations. The more knowledge that you have on when they're exactly ready to fire off again can mean life or death for you and your squad. Tucked away in the options menu, you can toggle on numeric skill cooldowns to provide you a much more accurate representation of when these abilities can be used again. Perhaps you wait those 3 more seconds for your healing drone to be readied, saving you a precious armor kit, or you better plan with your team how long exactly until your next bombardment of explosives is ready to deploy. I always prefer very exact information on my HUDs, and this has proved to be a quick and easy 100% improvement. The default way that you wrap around corners is a fairly intuitive way to transition around things, but can often put you in a dangerous position if performed accidentally, when all you really wanted to do was just get closer to the edge of cover. If you find this semi-automated cover wrapping to be hindering more than helping, you can turn on Move Around Cover Corner with button press in the options menu. Now corner transitions will only happen if you are at the edge and hold down the cover button to move around it. This rectifies accidentally wrapping around corners that you didn't want to and allows you to confidently push up to the edges of cover and line up shots. This one is just more of a helpful reminder than necessarily a tip. But if you've been spending time in the Dark Zone's PvE meets PvP areas, you'll find a whole new progression system revolving around your Dark Zone level. Make sure to regularly check in with your Dark Zone officer at your settlements to see if you have any available Dark Zone specific perks to claim. These can allow you to carry more contaminated loot, gain more XP from various Dark Zone activities, and many other vital improvements that I found could easily go unchecked until you remember, oh yeah, those Dark Zone levels I've been accumulating. Go cash those in as soon as possible and further maximize your progression. Have you ever noticed that you can reload some of the guns in the game and gain 1 extra maximum bullet even if the gun appears to have a full clip already? This bullet in the chamber system actually provides 1 additional bullet if you manually reload your weapon that still has bullets in it. If you deplete the clip fully and allow it to reload automatically, you'll be missing out on that 1 extra bullet you gain from manually reloading yourself before the clip is emptied. Is this 1 extra bullet tip really going to save your life? Probably not, but it's still an interesting detail in the game to provide you with that 1 unshot bullet in your chamber when reloading this way. And that is just a small sampling of some of the quality of life tweaks and optimization tips that I felt can help to improve your overall experience in The Division 2. Hopefully these assist with your enjoyment of the game, because if there's one thing I greatly love doing here at Boomstick Gaming, it's optimizing games to be more fun and play even better. If you enjoyed this style of content that focuses on the nuanced details of game mechanics and systems, consider subscribing and checking out my Patreon page that not only assists with the upkeep and improvement of my channel, but also allows me to give more back to everybody who funds what I do here. As always, this has been Deadite, and thanks for watching Boomstick Gaming.